Hi, I am just checking in here. This is Heather Aguilera from Angel of Divine Love, and I wanted to just say hello. It's been a while. All of June seemed like it had zoomed by, and I ended up getting kind of not feeling well, a little under the weather. So, coming on here in July, 1st of July, and we have a lot of things happening. We just got through the new moon in Cancer, and how is everybody feeling? Obviously, you could feel that or hear that I'm pretty congested right now. I'm just getting over a cold. So yeah, June, like I said, just zoomed by for me. I went to, I'm not sure if you guys heard of Disclosure Fest, but I was at Disclosure Fest, and that's when I was kind of not feeling too well. But anyways, I wanted to check in and see how you were doing. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. This month I am going to be offering my Moon and Womb course. Those of you who would like to be part of that, let me know. Also, I want to extend that offering to men who are wanting to understand how to work with the elements more also. So, it goes for everybody. If you're interested in working with the moon cycles, I go over a lot of things within the elements. It's not just it's so many, it's multi-layered, and all the different aspects of the elements that we cover. So if you're interested in learning more about the elementals, how to utilize them in your practices, and also each element holds a different antidote for something that we're going through, and just basically how to open up to this energetic system that is around us, and also practical practices to carry out and to practice within your own self, within your own practices. So if that makes sense, or if you're feeling guided to that, let me know. But yeah, so this month of July, there is a lot going on. I'm not from Canada, but I know that Canada Day is coming, and a lot of natives are not participating in Canada Day. They're canceling that out, which I'm for that. So as far as those who don't understand what that is, a lot of Native Americans or indigenous people who have been under a lot of the religious, they have found bodies of children in lands. So it's really hard, especially if you have that culture in you, to deal with this type of truth that comes up in the collective when it comes up, especially if your bloodline runs through indigenous bloodline. So anyways, that's really big, and I know Canada's doing a big stand on that. Here in America, we have 4th of July, which a lot of natives are also canceling that out. So yeah, we'll just kind of see how everything flows. I don't know what your views are on that, but this is where I stand. Part of that, I don't celebrate that, but I also understand, the trauma and the healing that's happening with a lot of indigenous folks that are mending through this. I have been as well, coming into realization of certain aspects of the genocide and what it's done with my lineage. So ancestral healing is deep. It's something that I'm very passionate about. I do go over this in my elemental courses, as well as the Moon and Womb course, which I will be starting at the new moon of this month. So towards the end of July. I'll give dates for those who are interested in that. Like I said, we go over a lot of antidotes for the different elementals. We go really deep into ancestral healing, into the womb, into the mother, really bringing in these aspects into a deeper context and cortex within your mental, physical, and emotional bodies. We work with all the elements in the different places where you're maybe fragmented, and places within the psyche and your age ranges where certain rites of passage were not handed over properly. So this is, this is the reclaiming a lot of the practices that were missing within being colonized. So yeah, if you're into that, let me know. I do go deep in these topics and subjects in a more group setting. Every group that I have, they end up just being so phenomenal. The relations that are built. This picture that you're looking at right here is one of my sacred places that I go to, and I have clients come to visit me from all over the world, and I bring them here. This is a very sacred space. It's not that well known. You have to know somebody in order to get to some of these places that I take my clients to. But yeah, these are some of the things like I said, I have people from all over the place coming to visit me. And I love to take people to sacred spaces like this, especially people that I teach, people that are, really open and do the work, not just are there to get the teachings and don't do anything with it. But my clients that do the work, they get the teachings, they know how valuable they are, they know how well they work through the body and the reconnection within the ancestral, and then they take the steps and action steps, prayerful action steps, to come see me and then receive further basically initiations into the waters, into the earth, into this practical way of living and being within the very magical places. So yeah, this is just kind of, I wanted to share this with you because I have a group that's coming down this weekend, and it's really nice. So I would love to extend this invitation to you all. My prices are really reasonable for the group activities, and like I said, we go really deep. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. Email me. We'll be starting at the new moon of this month of July. I will be having a free course, an intro course, a week before we start. So if you have like more questions, like I've had ladies and women of all types, of all gender, come and ask about certain tips that I have to help release lovers, to help remove certain energies. And so this is an opportunity for you to like talk to me in a setting where I give some practical advice for that, and it's free. So that's going to be a week before the new moon of this month. So like I said, I'll have the dates and everything set. But yeah, I would love to get to know some of you guys more deeply, more intimately. I am congested right now because I am just getting over this thing, and it is just kind of seeming to linger a little bit. So, and I've been trying all my herbs, all my remedies, but it just, there's something in there. It's still kind of like working its way out. So yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, let me know. But this month we have some powerful alliances happening within our skies. We have a lot going on this month, like we do every month. Not last month, in this Cancer new moon we just got out of, I have a lot of water placements, so Cancer was just really really emotional and really like for me, it was really tender and opening up these spaces within me that needed to be looked at in a more compassionate way. So, but I also realized that Cancer, there's different water signs, and Cancer is very like this extra little sensitivity that is slightly, it's in the emotions. It's the water in the emotional body. Water, though, is the antidote to anger. So you could either feed the anger, or you could use the water to help to soothe the anger. And so we really want to work through that, and healing with water is a really great way and water source, elemental source to use. So that's why I go to the waters quite often. So anyways, I want to wish you all a blessed July. May this July month gain you the freedom, the spiritual freedom and spiritual sovereignty. Okay, hold on. So I have Kim. Is this an in-person class only? No, Kim, this is not an in-person class only. What I was talking about is it's online. It's going to be online, but you can come in person. Like I said, whenever I do these classes, usually it is online, and then most of my people, whoever sign up, we just really mesh really well, and eventually people come in person and see me. So and then I that's when we go into these really sacred adventures. So it's not in person only, it is via online, so it's very accessible, but you can come in person if and when you feel guided. So it's not necessary, you're not obligated to do it, but I do get a lot of people that feel the pull and answer that call. So yeah, thank you. And KL, how do you get angels or entities to help you? Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, angels or entities to help you. You just got to be careful about all of that, building a strong relationship and a foundation within your spiritual contacts. You want a strong foundation. Anything built off of a weak foundation, whether it's with an angel or you called it an entity, if it's built off of weakness, nothing is going to sustain, meaning that your spiritual ways of being and your spiritual ways of connection will be very weak. So you need to have a spiritual vigor, be vigorous, meaning that you stand strong in the spirit. So before working with any sort of angels or entities, I would work with a strong foundation within the source creator, great spirit, God, whatever it is that you consider that. So first and foremost, strong foundation within that. And then, if you feel guided, you could add on a guardian angel, or you could ask a loved one who has passed over, as long as they are in a good way. If they walked a good life, you could ask for them for help. I wouldn't call into an ancestor that walked a shady way or a negative way. I would call on an ancestor that walked a good way, and then that could be a very strong link for you to go into that. But yeah, I'd be very careful just to go nonchalantly asking for whatever angel or entity to help you. Without a strong foundation, you could fall into certain traps in the spiritual realm, and you don't want any of those repercussions to come your way. You want to be very strong in your knowingness and what it is that your intentions are, and be very, very strong in that, and not have any weakness or fear within you, because that causes vulnerability and a weakness in your energy field, and where you could be taken advantage of energetically. So yeah. Anyways, spiritual realm, spiritual warfare, working with entities and angels is something that you have to be very careful with. I had a friend that was a channel. He would channel, you right? He would channel these different guides and get these different messages. And although he got some good messages, I knew there was something off about it. I was just like, no, you need to stop doing that. It's not good. You're opening yourself up. I could see certain things. I could hear certain things within your messages that are not, they're not okay, you know. And eventually, like, he ended up going to some sort of ceremonies and anyways, some medicine ceremonies, and anyways, he got some attachments on him, and he talked to me about it, and I told him I knew what was going on, and I told him what I felt, and how I can see certain things, and he knew to ask me for help. But he ended up going and traveling the world for like a year, and then he came back, and he was back, and I didn't talk to him when he got back from his travels, but he went on some really great adventures, right? And then we found out it was the year that COVID happened, that COVID hit, and it was on Father's Day, that first year of COVID. And a friend of mine called me saying that he shot himself in the middle of Santa Monica Park. And, you know, we were devastated when we found out. And it was because he was spiritually attacked by, we could say, his ego or some negative entities. He was open, and I feel that he had some sort of gaps within his auric field, and where this subject has, you know, created this spiritual warfare within his mental capacity, and he couldn't handle it, and so he shot himself. And so this is why I want people to be very, very careful and know spiritual, like, you gotta know how to spiritually protect yourself and spiritual hygiene, and not open yourself up to these things, because there's a reason why. It's a warning. So not to scare you, not to cause fear, but just to let you know what is there and what to be careful of, and to heed on the warning that you don't just open yourself up to anything. Things could pose as angels, things can so that is what I want to share with you all. And yeah, it's not an easy topic, but sometimes you gotta know all of the aspects of it, all of the sides to it, all sides of the coin, when you're opening yourself up spiritually, right? So yeah, I have always tested the spirits, and yeah, it's not always been easy, obviously. You know, most of you guys are here because of the entity removal and clearing that I've made, and I mean that for a reason. And it's free for everybody. I don't gain anything. I don't monetize it. It's out there for everybody to access when needed. And I've had some really astounding stories of people using that, people going online because they have some sort of attachment, and then they look it up, and then they find that video, and then finally something leaves them. Like, people that couldn't move. And this, like, surprises me sometimes, of some of the stories that I've heard of others that have had this sort of experience, you know. So yeah. yeah, it's It's a great clearing, and it's an old clearing, but it's a good one. There's things that, I I do a lot differently now when I work with clients one on one in the clearing. But that clearing, it's a really good clearing. It works well. And yeah, but I do things much differently now when you work out with me one on one. So, but thank you, thank you for that question. Like I said, I'm not here to scare you, but I'm here to bring some truths and be very honest about this. There's a lot of things within the New Age community. Um, there's a lot of things within the New Age community that, that I don't agree with, I really don't agree with some of the things within the New Age community. You don't want to be open to everything. You don't. You just don't. And it's very real. You want to have pristine energy. You want to be careful with the words that you say. You want to make sure you're in alignment with that which is of sacred sovereignty and truth for you. You want to make sure that that is what you're asking for in a very intricate way, because the ego is very twisted. The ego is not your friend. There's a lot of things within the subconscious mind and within the spiritual cortex which newbies can fall very quickly into certain traps. So yeah, that's why that recording is out there. And yeah, you're welcome. And oh wow, so your husband seen things. Kim says her husband seen snakes leaving. Yeah, so like snakes leaving the first time he listened to it. So yeah, so snakes in something like that, snakes is in different settings. Snake is a good omen, but in a scenario like that where snakes were leaving him, it could be like jealous and malice from other people that he picked up and that were like leaving. So those like jealousy, malice, evil eye, the ojo. I come from a Mexican heritage, so like my grandmother, she always had like ojo, like for us to like remove the ojo, like the evil eye, the negative spirit. And so that's, if you know what ojo is, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's something basically that we all have to, it happens, we're living in this time right now. It's a very intricate time where we live right now. It's an odd time we're at. We have these phones that have this capacity to give us all this knowledge and wisdom, which is great. And then it also has the capacity to help us to distract us. And then also, like just so many different, the polarities that are there. And it's the polarity that is there within the realm of not just the spiritual realm, but it's like the physical realm, and then also within the AI, right? The artificial intelligence realm. And so we're dealing with like multiple aspects of consciousness in all of these different forms that use ways of getting messages to us, which is it's healing. It can be extremely healing, but it can be extremely like devastating sometimes too, right? So if you start to spiral or go into a hole, one of those rabbit holes that take you into a downward spiral, then hey, there you go, but then where do you find yourself to be within yourself? Where do you find yourself back into your sovereignty? So as long as you're continuing to do that, I think you're good. But yeah, we live at a very interesting time right now, and it's sacred. It's funny, but yeah, I always suggest for everybody to know your heritage, you know, figure out your heritage, try to find your heritage, and look into the earth-based teachings. I love Christ too. Don't get me wrong, like I love Christ, but religion, no. But the Christ and the Christos energy, yeah, I love that. It's a very sacred, sovereign energy. But religious contexts, I don't agree with personally. These are just my personal views. It's not to say for you to hold on to my views, but it's just something that I have gained perspective on. And also, yeah, so understanding your lineage, your heritage, earth-based teachings. I love learning about my lineage. I love learning about my ancestors and what my ancestors have gone through, and the healing that I'm here for, and the healing that I'm here to bring within that ancestral wisdom that I carry, that we all carry, and unlocking that within us. And it's part of the teachings that I teach. It's part of what I love to share with others. It's something that unlocks something very sacred within me, within my clients, and I love sharing that. It's something that I really treasure. So yeah, and I also adore working with herbs, plant medicine. Like it's just part of my path that has really brought me to like this level of consciousness that I love and I adore, but it's also kept me grounded in my realness and kept me in like this place within myself where it's very sacred and it's sovereign and it's healing and it's real. And you know, there's a lot out there. There has been years, or maybe a year or so, where Spirit has asked me just to sit back and observe. Like observe everyone and see how this is unfolding. Observe how the different fads and messages come in. And I've done it. I've sat and I've watched and I've learned, and I've also, you know, had gained some of my own insight. And, you know, observing gives us the capacity to allow others to speak, and then also seeing what truly resonates with you. And, you know, and then going from there when it's time. So I go with the ebb and flow of the call of Spirit, and I go very in this way within my own masculine, my own inner masculine, my own inner feminine, in internal, this union that I have with my feminine and masculine, and my union that I have with Source Creator. And this is what gives me a very clear navigational system in when it's time to speak. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of phone calls right now. So, anyways, this is how we are all, you know, here to help each other, to gain insight. And I have had the privilege to work with many elders of many traditions, and I love it. You know, it is, you know, one day I will share more of what I have studied, but I do share this in my courses, personal courses. It's just to keep certain things private for me for right now until it's time to share them. So I do love studying the Mayan calendar, and I've studied the Mayan calendar with a Mayan elder for some years now. And I also love studying the Mexica, which is the Aztec calendar and Aztec Mexica teachings, which is also part of my lineage and heritage. And these are things that along my way and along my path that I have been guided by spirit. So awakening within all of us our ancestral wisdom helps to open doors into places that we never could imagine. And it connects us to people, and it connects us to other people, and it gains this access into other teachings. And these teachings are vital, for some of us. So, yeah, and this is the way that I have learned over time. This is the way that I've learned through these past years, and it's palabra, so it's the word, right? It's word to ear. Just how I'm talking right now, it's word to ear, passing the information and the knowledge down from word to ear, mouth to ear. And the way each person takes the palabra, the word, is unique for that person. So what I say to you who is listening is different from the next person who is listening or will be listening in the future. And these words that I say and that others say can activate and heal and ignite and wake up certain aspects within the self. This is how you know that you receive true teachings is because of these words that come through. They're not just words or vibration, they're frequencies. They're a lot of things that come through. And within what I have learned also is within that person's energetic field and energetic capacity, that each one holds, and what that individual has healed within themselves is what they're able to kind of portray and assist with others in healing. That's why so many of my recordings are powerful and very healing and very cleansing and clearing, because I know how it works. I have that. I guess you could say that it is within my energetic field and the capacity that I have learned how to clear things, that I have gained that strength, that can help others, So that's why an 8-minute recording works so well, is because I know how the energy works, and I can clear that. So, and you'll feel that, the strength of that, and then you'll feel also, if you've listened to somebody else, maybe their healing goes into a different capacity, or maybe theirs is weak, and you'll be able to hear and feel and understand the difference between someone who holds that capacity of healing and someone who does not. So, and that's something you also have to be aware of: false light, false of the healing, and discern for yourself what that is. Some people don't resonate with what I have to offer, and that's okay, because it's not for everybody. But yeah. Anyways, I think I have shared everything I wanted to share. If you have any other questions or comments, please let me know below. Like I said, I will be offering this new course and the new moon of this month. I will be on here again. I will try my best to come on and when the time is right. If not, you could look into the community page where I will be posting the dates for the next gathering. So you could always email me at heatheraguilar2@gmail.com. I'm also in the midst of creating a podcast. So I love YouTube. I think it's great. But I am also wanting to create a podcast and branch out in another direction. Still on the spiritual base and spiritual theme of things, but this is going to go more into my plant-based type of teachings, elemental teachings, which this is kind of like traveling into. So yes, be on the lookout for that. I will be posting that, and it's free content, you guys. I try to do as much as I can to offer for free, but the course that's coming up is not. But everything else, yeah, it's all there. So take what you can, take what resonates, be discerning of the spirits, and follow your intuition, follow that guidance. You can trust yourself. Yeah, I am too, Kim. Thank you. Thank you for being on here. And I will be posting the links and everything else below. So it's mainly the moon and the womb. I go over elemental teachings. And for men, if you would like for me to extend that out for men in the masculine body, let me know. But this is for the female physical body. But you can also, I want to open this up to the two spirit as well, so that any gender that you have, and if you're open to that, you're more than welcome to come into this, so we all have feminine and masculine energies, and I want to honor that. I have a lot of two spirit friends, and I've had many two spirit ask me for this elemental teachings. And yeah, so whoever is ready, please contact me. Thank you. So much love and many blessings.